Trout Lake is full of liveliness. Having spent a lot of time here over the past year, I have noticed so many places where people have made this park their own. Heterotopia is a word to describe a real physical space that is a small enacted utopia, a place made by people that is different to the main culture in some way. Trout Lake is full of these kinds of spaces, around the lake edges that have been left unmanaged by the city. Here, the wetlands are free to function as themselves, flooding in the winter, receding in the summer. Indigenous plants like spirea and salmonberry have space to return how they wish. There are pockets where people celebrate, where people live, where it has been designed and changed by the community to suit their own unique needs and ideas for how the park should be. In contrast to this, the Vancouver Parks Board has announced a master plan for John Hendry Park. The master plan seeks cohesion, declaring a single vision for the park. Part of this master plan involves establishing distinct areas where humans go and where the rest of nature belongs. People will no longer have access to the edges of the lake. This separation reinforces the binary of human versus nature. This is a split rail fence, directly descended from Western colonialist land ownership tradition. It signifies that whatever land is contained in the fence is the property of someone else. It does not belong to you. But Trout Lake is public land, and currently it is full of community design. It seems as if this might be a place where we are comfortable knowing it belongs to all of us. If the master plan is established, the magic and uniqueness of Trout Lake will fade. The lake edges will take on a typical Vancouver Parks Board wetland look. Instead of a fixed master plan where everything has designated places, how can humans remain an interconnected part of this place? How can a design for Trout Lake grow from what already exists? I began with willow circles. A friend described this whole project as being the second dancer. If someone is dancing alone, people might notice or they might not. But if someone else joins in, people watching might get the idea and also begin to dance. How can I, one single person, amplify and draw others into the existing interspecies relations? It started by noticing how others in the park use willow from the trees that have been cut down. Circles woven out of this willow were strewn around the park, so I decided to weave my own. Someone came up to me as I was doing this and started making another one. This was when I knew the project had begun. A high visibility vest became part of my park attire. Ironically, this allowed me to become invisible. I now seemed to be an official park worker, meant to be doing whatever it was that I was doing. The willow projects got larger. I learned how to weave willow fences, extending the pre-existing willow fence so that it followed unofficial trails leading inwards towards the center of the park. The interactions I had with others while I was making all of these different interventions became one of my favorite parts of this project. While I was making the fence, a couple walked by.
Hey, are you one of the willow weavers who made the fence?
I am today.
Did you make the rest of it?
No, I'm not sure who made the other parts. It looks like there was a new section added a few days ago.
Yeah, I saw that. So cool. Thanks for making this park beautiful.
Dogs are the most frequent users of this particular unofficial trail, so an archway for dogs emerged. One strolled through as I was finishing the top. There's lots of wood at Trout Lake. It's used for making fires, forts, and lots of other things. So I made another arch, learning how to weave wood. These branches are not flexible like willow, but that allows them to hold on to one another. They can carry each other's weight, transforming into a large and relatively stable circle arch. This arch can be seen from the main pathway, but only if someone is really looking. It's meant to engage curiosity, leading deeper into the edges of the lake. Stones. They truly became a story in themselves. This was an element that was added to Trout Lake. Half a ton of river rock. That was decided to be the acceptable amount to add to Trout Lake. The question was, what will happen if this material is added? When the stones arrived, park workers seemed unconcerned, but community members were fairly suspicious.
What are you guys doing? Are you allowed to be doing that?
I started balancing stones on the beach, and people became curious.
Hi! How did these stones get here?
Wow, look at this. Are you a stoneworker?
Hey, are you also looking for the Eurasian gull?
Oh, I used to be an art teacher, so I can spot an art project from a mile away.
Do you know about the other art projects going on in the park?
One kid started making his own rock piles.
Hey, nice job, buddy. You balancing some rocks?
Yeah, like that lady over there.
I went back the next day, and the stones were gone. A few days later, when I returned to the park, I found the stones. Park workers had moved them to a new place off the main trail. I don't know why they chose this particular spot, but it seemed as good a place as any to continue my stoneworking. Again, as I began to work, lots of people were interested in what I was doing.
You have them all on like Instagram or something?
No, I should have something like that though. Yeah, you too. After this conversation, I did make an Instagram account. My next visitors were two curious kids.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm making a stone sculpture.
What's a sculpture? Oh, he's making like a person out of rocks.
Yeah, like a little. It's like
Nice.
Pardon?
Nice.
Thanks. Yeah. There's some other ones too. You guys want?
Okay.
It happened again. When I returned to the park next, the stone circle remained, but the pile had been moved. It was now apparent that I was involved in a game of stone hide-and-seek with the Vancouver Parks Board. I once again found the stones, this time freshly piled off the main path close to the dog park. This was highly convenient. This was where I had planned to begin a community garden. The stones were going to achieve their final form as an outline for the garden bed. Trout Lake is a place where people have been an active part of the ecosystems, caring for this place while the land also provided for them. To be stewards of the land is to care for a place, and to know that we belong here, to know that the land will care for us in return. And so, with the help of a plants gift from Laurie Snyder, a teacher and herbalist, a community event was held. As I was putting up the signs, a woman named Elaine came up to me.
Hey, weren't you making those rock piles the other day? Oh, and now you're hosting a planting day. How lovely.
A new garden was established.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Planting Day. So this planting event is about reestablishing a lot of edible species that used to be in the area that are already coming back. So we're kind of just becoming a part of that process and yeah, just getting it going quite a bit.
Salmonberry, goji berry, ossoberry, strawberries, bleeding hearts, violets, daylilies, and yarrow were all introduced back into Trout Lake, re-establishing many of the berry and other edible species that would have once been here. The event was also meant to establish community interaction, connection, and responsibility for these plants.
Well, I walk here pretty well every day, so I should come and see how
yay!
they do.
You can come see how the plants are doing.
We need people to look after them.
Yes, we do.
Caretakers.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, did I tell you we have bleeding heart too?
Oh yes,
Little.
okay.
Yeah. The 5th addition to Trout Lake was a movie night, showing this very film to the community it is about. One man was deeply concentrated for the whole screening. He had some concerns afterwards.
Isn't that fence going up for a reason? If they take it down, wouldn't everyone just trample all the plants? What if there's chaos?
I think the key is how do we allow the character of Trout Lake to remain as it is? Care for other species and what they might need is something that people can learn through interaction.
What do we do? Should we take the fence down?
It's a lot about education and understanding our role here in the park.
So you're saying that people can actually be trusted? This is really something I haven't thought about.
The most recent part of this project was to add signage that suggested different types of engagement with materials and spaces. Elaine was there, curious about how the planting day had gone. I don't know if you saw the little stones.
I've seen the stones.
Yeah, so all of those plants we planted on that Saturday.
Oh, sweet. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll check it out next time.
Yeah. See you. When I was adding the final sign, something wonderful happened. An artist and a group of children approached the archway.
Sculpture.
They all scrambled towards me, wary of the mud,
Ew, gross. Ew, gross.
but so excited to see what the arch was.
Look at these guys. We're escaping from the Amazon. Portal.
As the children played, we talked about her involvement in the park.
I've spent like 15 years playing in this area.
Oh, really?
And guiding school groups here.
Yeah.
If you look really carefully, you'll see lots of art projects that I made. There's an offering that me and some students made about a year ago, 2 years ago.
And what it means to teach kids about stewardship.
We often teach children, don't pick that flower, don't touch that plant, don't walk over there. What we should be teaching them is, what kind of plant is it? How do we use it? And when do we pick it? How many should we leave? That's what's so awesome about this park. It's a place where we can actually teach kids those lessons.
Plants are growing everywhere.
Elaine had mentioned that some of the stones had now reappeared at the beach. They have been reformed into a horizontal version of the balancing piles. They have also been used by children and incorporated into decorations. The willow fence has sprouted, and people now regularly go down this path. Willow circles continue to be left near the fallen trees, as if they're little offerings to the willow, or maybe to the place in general. A kids camp at the Trout Lake Community Center is interested in being the garden's main caretakers this summer.
And then we'll connect and I'll chat with the program lead as well too.
That would be great.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Nice meeting you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
These are all small changes to the fabric of Trout Lake, slightly altering and encouraging the land stewardship and community design that is already in existence here. My hope is that this continues on, that people pick up this dance from wherever others have left off. As author Robin Kimmerer writes, knowing that you love the earth changes you, activates you to defend and protect and celebrate. But when you feel that the earth loves you in return, that feeling transforms the relationship from a one-way street into a sacred bond.